And welcome to the Carew Show podcast. Hey, gents, I am so honoured to have you on the Carew Show. It's been a while, everybody, ladies and gents, that hasn't been watching the Carew Show podcast. This is season 3, episode 1. Guys, this is Nathan Geering and Isaac James, fellow martial artists and breakdancers. Welcome to the Carew Show.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Thanks, man. How you good?
Yeah, awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm really honoured to have you on, and I've got some Q&As here, which I'm sure the audience will have some juicy answers back on there. They're going to be pretty interesting. Some of the questions that I'm going to be asking. So there's going to be different approach from the previous episodes, gents, ladies and gents. Nathan Geering here, absolutely amazing martial artist. You have got a martial arts that you've been doing for many years now that you've actually combined with breakdancing. Now, how did that come about with yourself being able to combine the two together? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so basically I have been I've been doing martial arts ever since I was little. And I started to formally learn breaking when I was at university. I'd done like little bits before as a little kid, but in terms of when I really took it seriously was when I went to uni. And then I kind of traded off the amount of hours I was training for martial arts to the amount of hours I was training for breaking, because at one point I was doing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, so it was pretty intense. And then basically what ended up happening was when I started to get into fight choreography and filmmaking, I wanted to, I guess, have my own voice and not just be doing all the same stuff that a lot of martial artists are doing in movies and things. So I wanted to come at things from a different perspective. And because breaking has always been embedded in me as a human being as well as martial arts, they just really naturally just went together. So yeah, I think that's kind of where it come about, my passion for both. It just meant that it was just a matter of time before they were going to actually formally meet. And also there's a big history between martial arts movies and hip hop culture. And so because there's such synergies between the two, and for example, a lot of old school kung fu films, they actually influenced a lot of the moves that you see in breaking, and also a lot of the hip hop music that you would have heard, for example, say Wu-Tang Clan or Jerry the Damager. And so again, they've always been gone hand in hand over the years, but I just wanted to kind of take things a step further. I'm not the first person to combine breaking and martial arts, but I have a bit more of a different standpoint than others, because I take it a step further and I combine fire with breaking and martial arts as well.
Oh, that's amazing, because like yourself, in regards to martial arts as well, what about yourself, Isaac? You know, what come about yourself with thinking of being able to combine? Because I know we spoke previously on another interview, on a previous interview, or last year, and in regards to receiving your black belt, and then we were talking on terms of having a combination of that as well, because it's just ironic, isn't it, gents, that both of you have got this common denominator, myself, that I happen to know yourself, Isaac, and then you reached out to me, Nathan, and then in the middle, I thought, oh, hang on a moment, these two guys, I'm just going to ask here without being nosy, and without having, sort of invade any privacy between both of you, but it's just by chance, both of you, what a small world, actually know each other.
No, that's true. Actually, that is true. We met through kind of mutual friends, isn't it? So yeah. My best friend Andy, he's been a PT for 15, 16 years now, probably a bit longer than that. And so his client was dating a breakdancer. I was like, there's another breakdancer in Colchester. It's rare sort of thing. And we all ended up training at the same gym. So that's how I met Nathan. You came to the gymnastics club, and I think it was just it's great, kind of what I suppose our breakdancing and the martial arts kind of brings people together, sort of thing. And I learned loads. I actually look up to it, man. Honestly, like seeing the the UK scene quite well. A lot of the breakers coming up,
Wow.
and I kind of just started going to competitions and jams and stuff, and he was giving me some really good tips and advice for moves and like style and everything. So yeah, like to be here today and get together and talk about it, that was brilliant, man. It's wicked.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Holly, my partner, my baby mama, because Holly, she was getting PT lessons from Andy, and she'd basically mentioned to them that they were dating a breaker, and she said to me that these guys said, yeah, but is he any good, kind of thing. And they kind of like when they kind of like heard of what I could do, they were kind of like, oh yeah, he's the real deal, kind of thing, really.
Yeah.
But it was great to connect with both Isaac and Andy. I think was it the first time we trained at the actual gymnastics place? I think was that the first time?
Yeah, it was gymnastics.
Yeah.
Put the beats on and stuff, and you were chucking like elbow air flares and stuff. And I'm like, bro, I want to learn that move. I've been working this move for ages. Like,
100%. And for me, it was great because I was fairly new to Colchester, and it was just awesome just to connect with other breakers and other breakers that were of a decent standard as well. Because a lot of the moves that both yourself and Andy were doing, they're not easy moves to hit and to get. And it was really great to see you guys just smashing it out there. So I was like, okay, every time I come down to Colchester now, I got some people that I can train with, and we can keep pushing each other's level, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, this is great because with this kind of podcast, I never come about where two people happen to know each other on doing the same things. It's such a small world. I was just discussing this behind the scenes, ladies and gents, that it was amazing that when I spoke to Nathan, as soon as I mentioned and described Isaac, he said, did you just say Isaac? And I mentioned his whole name. I said, yeah. And I thought, wow, what a small world. How is that possible? And then I did the same thing as well with Isaac. And I thought, no.
I said straight away, I was like, wait, you said Firebreaker? Nathan, innit? I was like, yeah. When you said it was just straight away, like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, guys. Right, I'm going to do Q&A. Now, I have sent you some questions, but I'm not going to do them in the exact order. So be prepared, guys. This has got a nice surprise for me too. So I've come up with some juicy questions here that no doubt some of them you might have heard of before, but I thought long and hard about some of these questions because I thought, well, come on, they're not too personal, they're not too juicy, and they're not like dishing the dirt on you. So, I'm not this kind of person that will try and do that on this is the type of podcast, gents. As you will see, some of my episodes. Okay, one of them might have got a bit overboard and a bit political when it comes to that, but I sort of come from a different approach now. This is more of a fun-loving, family-orientated, anyone from all walks and background now. So it's all good, guys. So what I'm going to start off with is, what advice would you give anyone that you'd like to take up on a new skill? Doesn't matter what it is, because I know sometimes people need a bit of inspiration. Because with you guys, I know you're pretty good with doing that. Of what I've heard with your background and your life experiences. That question goes to Nathan first.
Okay, so I guess the advice I would give anybody wanting to learn a new skill is to just fully enjoy it. When you go into it, basically just be as passionate as you possibly can about it, and celebrate your victories. So for example, if you're learning a new move and you hit that move, no matter how simple it is, celebrate yourself for it. Be like, that's because what it is like you use that energy, because it's all energy, and so the energy that you use from that, you can then take that forward to galvanize you to learn the next move and the next move, the next move, and just building up that momentum. So just really try and create as much positive energy as you possibly can whilst you're learning these new movements, because they really will energize you to keep moving forwards and forwards and forwards. And also just make sure that whatever that you do, obviously you have a great time with it, and also just always try and express your authentic self with it. I always find the most creative times you can possibly be is when you're first starting out and learning a new skill, because once you learn the foundation and parameters, you can then really start to play with it, and you add your own little sauce, your own little flavor to it. I find the more time you spend within an art form, the more kind of like your way of expressing that art form or doing that art form becomes more solidified and more set. But when you're just starting out, there's so much possibilities, and you can go down whichever avenue you want to take. So I would definitely say, yeah, just have fun with it, and just always remember to bring your authentic self and your own creativity to it. Don't worry about what anybody else is thinking of you while you're doing it. Just have fun, and yeah, the sky's the limit.
That's great advice, Nathan. Great advice. No, it's, you know, you do get a lot of youngsters out there, and even other people from other walks of life and different age, you know, because, you know, there's no form of ageism or anything like that, because you could be at the age of 40 to 50. I've as far as I'm aware, there was a gentleman that I had noticed. I think he was in his 60s, 70s at the time. And he was in the park. He was all dressed up, and you would never have thought it. He was wearing like a tracksuit, shell suit, backwards. Sort of, he had his baseball cap backwards, like myself. And I looked, I thought, wow, that's amazing. And then he even had an old school ghetto blaster thing with him on his shoulder, and he was playing Wu-Tang Clan.
What?
And I thought, what a dude! And he was like, yep. Forever young, it's all in here. It's all in here, he said. And that was amazing. That was several years ago, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought, wow. He said, you're only old in here. And I never forgot that. I said, wow, I want to be like that. If I ever reach that age, I want to be like that. I'll never forget that. And yourself, Isaac, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh, here's going to be one for you on here.
What am I going to get?
Right. Okay. Do you have any other family members who participate with martial arts and breakdancing apart from yourself?
Well, first place I'm going to go, I think all of my brothers tried it out. When I first started kind of like getting into it, dancing with friends, we just kind of did it as a hobby, really. Didn't really make it into a career. My brother Ishmael, he was like, he started, and the way he moved actually was like very different, like in terms of how he like tried like to learn the moves, liked a lot of the power moves as well. He's taller than me as well. He was stocky as well, so there was a lot more to move around, sort of thing. But yeah, there'll be times when we'll be training together. I'd help him out. But I would say he definitely took on more of a kind of hip hop, kind of street-based style. So he used to do a lot of like choreography and stuff. Like he actually choreographed one of the routines that we did for a competition at Stanway actually, and it was got a YouTube link for that one. That one was really cool actually, one of the best we ever did. Iqbar, he tried it out for a little bit. He learned windmills, he learned power moves and stuff as well. He would even come with to the gym across the road when we was living. It was Anytime Fitness across the road from Albany Gardens. I'd go there at stupid o'clock. I'm going to go train. You coming with me? You come with me.
Wow.
Talking like what, like 11, 12, like midnight sort of thing. And we'd go, and I'll just drill like head spins and stuff. And martial arts, not really. I suppose family members like, say, my cousins and stuff on like my dad's side of the family, most likely probably did some sort of like boxing as part of the things that they were doing, because some of them are in the army, like, or were in the army as well. So you learn how to do all of that, what close quarterly combat and like kind of fighting styles as part of that training process, isn't it? When you're in the army, I would know. I've never been, but I suppose most people in the army would be able to fight. So yeah. So I'd say for me, I think it's kind of just me at the minute. Yeah.
Wow. Right, here's one for you guys. I'm sure you'd probably enjoy this one, actually, because I've always wanted to ask this to somebody. And this is for both of you. For yourself first, Nathan, I want to see what your answer will be afterwards, Isaac. Could you use all your skills to survive a zombie apocalypse? And what would you use?
So me, I'd run. Use my skill of running. Run as far away as I can for them bad boys. Get out of there. But yeah, if we're looking at, I guess, applicable skill sets, I mean, I've learned quite a few different weapons forms and stuff like that, and weapon skills. So I'd pretty much just use any weapon that comes to hand. Anything that comes to hand, I can turn into a weapon. I can spin it and twirl it around and stuff and strike with it. But I would also use fire, obviously. You know, from again all the weapons that I spin, I can also spin them all on fire, as well as fire breathe and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd just be burning them up. But you know, it all literally be just to get me as much time as possible so I can get the hell away from them, get in the car, run their asses over, and just get out.
Oh, that's a good answer, because I was just wondering. Wondering what to expect. And yourself, Isaac, how would you deal with it?
I mean, I'm thinking it depends on the type of zombies we're talking. So if you're like the Walking Dead, like your traditional kind of like limping, walking, you got a bit of time to kind of, you know, create a distance. For me, I like to tinker around with things and like make stuff. So I play around with cars a little bit, like I modify them and stuff. And I suppose with my like breaking brain, when I try to learn a move, I like to dissect it and break it into pieces. So I'd be very tactical and strategic in terms of like, I don't know, like for example, I wouldn't want to be doing windmills next to these zombies and kicking them, but I could create some sort of contraption that mimics that movement, and you just make like loads of them. And if they run through, I mean, all right, have you ever kicked anyone doing a windmill by accident? It's dangerous, man. You'll fall in it, like you'll drop. Like, think all that momentum, all that spinning. So if you put a couple of blades on the end of that and you do that, man, that's legs, isn't it? That's done.
Yeah,
but then
I remember.
If you're
Yeah, I remember my boy. He was in a club quite a few years ago, and basically he was a cypher that was going on, and he was getting down, and this drunk girl, she staggered into the cypher right when he was doing windmills, and literally she went and like just took her legs right out. Like if anybody's ever been hit by a power move, like, you know about it. I mean, like power moves definitely have power, because as well, like they generate the more rotations you do, the more momentum you generate, and you can add to it. So that's the really dangerous thing about any kind of power move, because there's so much weight and force that goes into your legs. It's devastating, and this is another reason why I want to combine martial arts with breaking in films to kind of like really, I guess, showcase that.
Wow. Right. Okay, guys. Have you both ever experienced deja vu?
Yeah, I've had it a few times, but I can't remember any specific times when it's, you know, happened in terms of stuff that's really stuck out in my head. But, you know, my partner would say something to me and I'd be like, I'm sure this has already happened before. I'm sure I've already had this conversation. Like, yeah. So, you know, it's happened a few times where it's almost like you can guess what's about to come out of that person's mouth, and it throws you for a loop for a second. So yeah, I definitely have experienced it a few times, but never to the point where it's like, okay, this is really significant that it's kind of like stuck in my head.
What about yourself?
I wonder if this counts. So this is the most recent thing. So I was taking the car to this place called the Transmission Shop in Canby, just so they can have a look, just to see what was going on with it. And I was about 5 minutes away. The song that I was listening to, like in the car, like on my own playlist, by the way, my own playlist, not on radio. As soon as I got out of the car and parked up and went to go and speak to them, the exact same song was playing on their radio. I was like, yo, I was literally listening to that in the car as I pulled up, and they all started laughing. And I was like, is that radio? And they're like, yeah, it's on the radio. That's kind of weird, you know. Oh, would you say that counts? But then,
no, yeah, that definitely counts.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, that
so
definitely counts.
I kind of looked at it this way, where I thought, okay, I don't want any. Well, no one wants any bad news with their cars, do they? You know, there's more money spent. But I kind of saw that as a sign. I thought, well, if that's the same song that's playing here, then I think we're good, isn't it? Something must be on my side.
That's really strange because now you remember. You mentioned that. I think I was about 17 at the time, going back at college, and I went to go and visit a friend's house. They just invited me over for lunch, and I said, "Oh, like we've got a break because you know you get like an hour or something on sort of like max." I've never ever been there before. I know this strange chill thing come all over me. He looked at me and he said, "I know that look," and I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I've seen your house before. It's like as if I've been here." They're like, "What are you on about? You've been here?" No, seriously, I've been here. And it was really, really weird. And it happened to me a second time to someone else. It was like a dressing up party, you know, like close to Halloween time, because everyone has like a Halloween party. And then this is one of my sort of family friends, or it might have been like an ex-girlfriend or something in the past. Yeah. And she said to me, "Oh, do you want to come over?" And I thought, "Why?" She said, "You can't have been here." And I thought, "Yeah, I had this overall feeling that I've been here before." But then you couldn't have been, because I've only just invited you here. And this happened twice, and that's even family friends. A friend I've gone to, and they said, "I've only invited you here once." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And it's really, really weird. And I got up to their house, literally got into their lounge, and it freaked me out because I looked at a picture and he said, "What's the matter now?" And I said, "I recognise that photo." He said, "Oh, don't give me that." I went, "No, I do." And he gave me this really strange chill down in my body. And it was really weird. It freaked me out. And my brother said, "That's my sister." I said, "That's your sister?" I said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "I've seen that picture before and I'm not lying." And he saw it in my face. He knew I wasn't lying. He said, "Oh my God, that's deja vu, mate." And he started laughing. He said, "You're having all these things." And I said, this is weird. It freaked me out. And ever since, I've been having all these different things happen to me. And some things are good, and some things are, it's like a message. People say that it's a message to say that you're on the right track of something, and it's like a little, you know, you're on the right track, no matter what it is. It's not bad. It's just something that is probably to remind you of something, you know, in the back of your mind that you've probably seen it somewhere, but not quite sure where. This is why it's eerie, because you could have spotted it on somewhere, you know, like on a photo. Something, you know, like you get like stock photos or something like that, or you've come across someone like yourself, Nathan. It's really weird because when I saw your name, when I see your face, because of your TEDx, because just to let everyone else know, ladies and gents, there might not be anyone on here live because depending on sort of the time change, because usually about 8 o'clock or anything like that, or maybe like later on, people will see the replay of this. But I must say, Nathan, it was really weird because when your name came up, and I've never sort of ever in a million years would have thought this would happen when you reached out. When I looked back, because I think I must have scrolled, you know, when you go through TEDx stuff or your name comes up, and even yourself, Isaac, you know, for like, I'm looking through breakdancing stuff, both of you, and I've probably come across both of you just by, you know, images, you know, pictures. And obviously now to this day, and I've mentioned this to Meg, you know, I've just said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe this." These guys, I've been like, it's like, do you believe in manifestation, gents? You know, you believe in that, you know, you believe in it in so much that one day you don't know who you might come across. And here we are, gents. I'm talking to you, both of you now, because in your mind you think, "Oh, am I ever going to speak to them? I'd like to speak to them in person." And here you go, the gift of it, both of you now talking to me on my podcast, on my show. You know, it's funny things have happened, gents. You know?
Yeah, 100%. Like, seeing as we're talking about eerie and spooky stuff, I got a bit of an eerie or spooky, like kind of like martial arts encounter that I had years and years ago. So when I was at uni, I used to go back to Chesterfield to train with my Sifu, to do Wing Chun. And we normally train out in a bandstand, but it was like winter time, so obviously it got dark really early. So we went into just onto this kind of like the pavement area, and where there were street lights. And so it was me, my Kung Fu teacher, and my classmate. And there was like this old like derelict house that was kind of like next to the street light. And basically we're just doing Wing Chun by there. And then my classmate, he just kept like holding his arm and looking up at this old derelict house. So with him, and I was like carrying on doing. I'm in my early 20s at this point, yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, he's just probably upset. I'm just kicking his ass right now, big ego and all that kind of stuff. When I was a youngster, and basically we were training there for a while, and then as we were walking away from there, he turned around to my Sifu and he said, "Yeah, I didn't like what was in that house." And my teacher was like, "Yeah," he was like, "Yeah, I felt it too, but I just ignored it." And I'm like, "What are you about? What?" I didn't feel nothing, right? And like them two were like, "Yeah, did not like what was there." And I was like, "What's going on? What are you about?" And then so my classmate, he drove my teacher back to his house, and he drove me back to Sheffield because I used to training back in Chesterfield, but my uni was in Sheffield, so he drove me back to my horse's residence. So I was in the car with Neil, my classmate, and I said to him, I goes, "Oh, I wonder why that it connected with," and what to say to him was because Neil was going through a lot of kind of like bad things at that point in his life, so going through a real tough time. So I was trying to say to him, maybe it was it was connecting to your the negative energy that was surrounding you or something. That's why it connected with you and you could ignore it. But my Kung Fu teacher, he could ignore it, and I didn't even know what was going on. Do you know what I mean? And so I was saying to him, I was like, why is it that you think that? And as I said that, I got this kind of like on the back of my head. I felt that on the back of my head, right? And
Wow.
then my classmate turned around to me and said, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh,
and he was like, "Did you feel?" I goes, "Yeah, look, right, okay." Basically, what I was trying to say was maybe it was connecting with you because, and then at the same point again, I got that on my head again, and I was like, "Bro, he's not letting me finish what I'm saying." He's like, "No, man, you don't need to say anything. Just I get it." And so then just carried on driving, right? And we got back to my horse's residence. I was bricking it, right? Go back to my horse's residence, and then basically like my classmate's like, "Yeah, I think it's gone now." And I was like, "No, man, it's still with me. It's still with me. I can still feel it." And then so like, in some cultures, they say that if you mentally like swear at ghosts, if you curse them out, they'll leave, right? So we stood outside the car, and we just mentally cursing out this ghost. and then I was like, right, okay, I think it's gone. So then my boy, he drove back to Chesterfield, and I goes to my horse's residence, right? And I goes in, and I'm walking up the stairs. I'm on the 4th floor. Every single floor had the lights on in the hallway. Got to my floor, no damn light. I was like, exactly right. I was like, oh hell no, I'm not playing this, man. So I went down to the floor below, where one of my friends was staying there. She was like an American exchange student. And I was like, Tavia, can I stay with you right now? Because like, there's bullshit. And I told her what happened, right? And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can sleep on the floor, name." She goes, "Don't worry." She goes, "Don't worry about it. My grandma, she used to have spiritual experience all the time." I goes, "All right, you better not tell nobody, Tavia." She's like, "No, don't worry, I'm not going to say nothing." We got to breakfast the next morning. She shouts out in the middle of the cafeteria, "David, come into my room spewing like a little bitch, saying, 'I see spirits.'" I was like, "Shut up, Tavia." Yeah, man, messed me up. So, but, I guess they say, when you do martial arts, first you kind of like you connect with yourself. And then, you get to know yourself more, and then you get to know others around you, and then you get to know things more on a spiritual level and emotional level and beyond that. And so I guess I was in a kind of ignorant way tapping into that at that point in time and didn't realize, but yeah, it was a wild time. So yeah, not quite deja vu, but definitely a spooky time, and just in time for Halloween, I guess.
You know what? That was great, actually. This could tap in onto sort of part of the Halloween special on there. So it's close to that anyway. So tomorrow. So guys, if you've missed this live, it'd be great. The great subject part of the questions and the answers on the Phil Carew Show podcast. So yeah, well done, Nathan. That's great. Part of the Halloween sort of special on there. Could make that part of the Halloween special. And yourself, Isaac. Now, both of you gents, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you've got other commitments. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some questions on here now, and that's some more Q&A. Here, what would you say in terms of which unconventional animal do you wish you could pet? That's for both of you. Now yourself, we'll start with Isaac to start off with. The reverse now.
Shenron from Dragon Ball Z. The dragon, innit? Chinese dragon. Something like that. Yeah, that'd be really cool. What else? Yeah, dragon's always my first kind of choice. Really like dragons. Maybe a Hydra as well. You know, the Hercules one, isn't it? Where the heads grow back. If you a tame one though, because I
was gonna say,
I've like five
Isaac.
different chances of getting eaten, isn't it? Like, yeah, probably go with that.
Well, yourself, Nathan.
Okay, so I won't go for a mythical creature. I'll go for like I'd say a lion. I'd love to have a lion as a pet.
Wow.
Just because I love lions. I think they're awesome. They're like really regal and things, and you know, they have a lot of, you know, courageous qualities that are associated with a lion. You know, also they're quite strategic in terms of how they hunt, especially the lionesses as well. So obviously I don't want them to come and hunt me, but I'd definitely love to have them as a pet. I think they'd just be so nice to like give a bit of a cuddle and a bit of a wrestle with, just as long as, like I say, they don't tear my head off.
Wow. No, that's a good answer, both of you. Wow. Well, firstly, the dragon. Oh, that's awesome. And then the lion as well. Both of them great answers, both of you. So, what does friendship mean to both of you? Friendship. And that goes to Nathan.
Friendship. I think for me, friendship is, you know, having a real deep connection with people, and an understanding and mutual respect for one another. Really, I think, you know, obviously the mark of a good friendship is you don't have to talk to them every day. Could even years go by. As soon as you connect with them, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you pick up just where you left off beforehand. But I think you know, loyalty and trust as well. And they'll always have your back no matter what. So for example, they may not understand your vision or where it is you're trying to go, but they'll wholeheartedly follow you into, you know, through fire, you know, and you do the same for them. I think for me, that's, you know, they're some of the real, I guess, for me, cornerstones of friendship. You're all on your different paths, but you're all, you know, advocating for each other, and you're all, you know, really wanting to see each other be successful. And like me and my friendship group, we have a saying, motivation by inspiration. And basically what it is like, in our own respective fields, one of us smashes out the park with something, we're like, holy shit, wow, that's incredible. But we're like, damn, what am I doing? If they're doing this incredible stuff, I've got to level up, because I don't want to be the one letting the team down, you know. And so we see each other, and we're really happy for, you know, what they achieve. And then so we use that, again, it's all energy, right? We use that energy to then galvanize us and energize us to then go beyond what we thought that we could achieve with our own thing. So then we're always leveling each other up, because we're all inspired by each other.
That's a great answer, Nathan. And yourself, Isaac?
The journey, I think, is one of the most beautiful things about friendship. Like, it's for me, like, I would say I met Andy at youth club, actually. So, and do you know what's so funny? I'd say 15, 16 years ago, when we used to go, basketball was what brought us all together. And when I was playing basketball in secondary school, I hadn't met Andy at this point because he was at a different school. But like Adam, JT, Will, Carlo, all of these guys I could name, we basically all ended up at this youth club on the lunchtime on a Saturday, just playing. Me and Andy didn't really speak to begin with, to be honest, but then he grew up with Adam and all these guys. So in the timeline of our friendship, like years before we'd gone to the youth club and done that, Andy was there. Do you know what I mean? So it was only a matter of time, where we all ended up in one place. And then what we say, like, what, 12, 13 years down the line, we're still best friends, you know. Like you say, we've grown up, we've got like relationships, we've got like places, work and stuff, and we do just pick up where we left off when like, you know, when we catch up and check in. And it's like with like friends that I see probably more on a regular basis now, like say Mason and stuff. It's exactly what Nathan was saying as well. Like we're always there for each other when, you know, when you're working on something, you know. It's just like, you know, giving your friends that nudge, that push, you know. And even me as well, like there's things that I work on where there might be something that I might not see that my friends will see, and they'll point out, and I go, oh wow, like I didn't look at it that way, I'll try that. And it is that, like that constant kind of, you know, support and building each other up, you know, not just when things are good, but also when things are, you know, a little bit rocky and a little bit bad, you know. And I mean, if we can't get to the phone straight away because we're at work or wherever it is, I know for a fact that I'll give them a call them back when I can, and they'll do the same for me, sort of thing as well, you know. And yeah, it's just beautiful to see everyone on their journey, you know, as well. That's the thing. That I think for me, friendship is all about that, you know. That's a great, kind of
great answer, guys.
Yeah, one more thing I'd like to add on friendship as well. It's also like, you know, your friends will also call you out on stuff. And know when, like, you know, you're not being real, or you're acting like a bit of an idiot and things like that. And they'll hold you accountable. And they're not doing it to be malicious. You know, it comes from a place of love. I think that's really an important part, and understanding that, you know, within your friendship as well, because, you know, the ego can be a hard taskmaster when you're like, what do you mean not like that? What are you talking about? When actually, when you step back, you are. When you strip that ego back, you know, sometimes you do need your friends to check you, and they're only doing it because they want what's best for you.
No, that's a great answer as well, Nathan. You know, we all need that sometimes, don't we? You know, to remind ourselves. Which celebrity would you choose to be to have as a mentor? And that goes to you, firstly, Isaac.
Oh, dude. I would choose 50 Cent, I'd say.
Wow.
Watching his film, I watched it again recently, actually. I watched it when I was a kid. So there were a lot of things in that film that just went over my head, in my eye. I didn't really get it. Whereas I watched it again recently, and it just opened my eyes, isn't it? And I was like, I used to listen to a lot of his music as well. And again, I didn't necessarily understand everything that he was saying, but he hadn't had the best cards dealt, and he made, like, the guy was a fighter, you know. He made everything work. I would say some of the stuff you don't really want to go through, of course, you know, that it's a scary place. Well, anywhere can be a scary place, sort of thing. You might meet and come across some very, you know, scary people, but I don't know, for him to from his background, from where he came from, up to now, obviously he's quite a big influential part of hip hop as well. And I'd say 50. I suppose second person. It's a hard one, you know. Ice Cube as well, actually, because I watched Straight Outta Compton as well.
Oh, sorry about that, ladies and gents. Poor Isaac there. Probably a signal. Right, while we're getting back to Isaac quickly, what about yourself, Nathan? What would you say?
For me, I think first and foremost, it'd be a Sammo Hung. I'd have to have Sammo as a mentor. What he achieved in terms of like Hong Kong cinema was absolutely incredible, both in terms of action and comedy, and just filmmaking in terms of, like, you know, the way that he'd arrange shots and things like that, and his storytelling. So I'd definitely say Sammo Hung. If we're talking about somebody a bit more westernized, in terms of like more so Hollywood. Bit controversial, but I'd actually say like Quentin Tarantino, because like the way that he made films, was absolutely incredible in terms of like his influences and things like that. And obviously he didn't really go down the formal film school route or anything, but he found his own authentic self and expressed that through his highly stylized filmmaking. And obviously, granted, a lot of that was he took a lot of influences from a lot of genres. I mean, he's a super geek on so many different film genres and things. So, I think, how he basically, brought those things, into the mix, but also create something that was, uniquely his own from that in terms of his style of filmmaking. I think it's great. And I just think you'd be able to have some really deep conversations with him on, the whole process for any genre that he was interested in, really.
No, that's a great answer. I'm a great fan of Sammo Hung as well, his material, and I didn't even realize until, when you strip back all the sort of films over the years, as well as hello, Isaac, sorry about that. Bear with a few moments. As we were saying, just before Isaac got back, ladies and gents, because of the signal or whatever it was, a technical fault on there. As I was saying, just to catch you up, Isaac, Nathan just mentioned about Sammo Hung being sort of a mentor before any sort of technicalities had happened. And I was mentioning about just stripping back about as far as when Sammo Hung in his younger years, in his youth, even as far back from being in martial law and then in the Bruce Lee film that I wasn't sure of, because I knew his face was familiar, but I wasn't quite sure if it was him. And so I looked back, I couldn't put my finger on it. I did say to someone before, I thought, that guy, I know, I'm not sure where it is. And they said, that's Sammo Hung. I said, no way. In the Bruce Lee film, when he actually has, it's like his Bruce Lee has in Enter the Dragon, while he's actually having his own sort of like you would sort of recall as known as MMA these days, MMA or some form of like a kickboxing with his like leather gloves and his outfit and sort of padded on there, sort of more sort of semi-contact, full contact, as you would say. It's more, I'd say, is what semi-contact because you've got the gloves on. But when he was there, and then you got Sammo Hung, I think he was in his like late teens to early 20s at the time. And wow, could he move? And even Bruce Lee sort of was surprised because of his age, Sammo Hung, the way he was moving and the flow and everything for his age. It was very agile, and you could see it in his movement. That even like now, he can still. He's got his recent film that he was in. I thought, oh my goodness, he can still move. What a guy, as well as being in something like martial law. Sammo Hung is amazing. Right, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going on for some of these questions because I know these are probably pretty good ones that I haven't asked you yet. When did you last sing to yourself? And that's to Nathan first.
Man, it was like in the car earlier on today. I'm always singing to myself. With family, we just sing. Not that saying we're getting good at it, but always singing. It always pays to have a song in your heart because when you got a song in your heart, you can always tap into a source of joy.
That's true. And yourself, Isaac?
At the gym.
At the gym?
Yeah, from lifting weights and stuff. I'm doing a lot of weight training recently, and I don't know. I don't have any headphones or music, so you might see me bopping along to the gym songs, or just being silly in between my rest and stuff, just to keep things entertaining, because it's grueling, isn't it? If you're lifting like weight, it's pain, isn't it? Like, so I'm kind of like, I'm just psyching myself up for the next set, sort of thing. So I'll be like, just
why not
bopping in it, singing a song or something, Or I'll say some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of lyrics or something that's associated with the thing that I'm doing and make jokes. So I think what I even quotes from films as well, actually. So it'd be like if I got one more set on like dumbbells or bench, I'd be like, the last melon. You know, Ice Age, innit?
Oh my god.
You know, let's do this. You know, yeah.
Right, you guys, I've got a few more questions to ask on here, so I've got to make sure I get these in. If you could travel in time, who would you like to meet and why? And that goes to Isaac first.
I'm thinking my parents, actually,
Wow.
to see what they're, you know, like what they got up to when they were growing up, like as kids, you know, like, because I mean, we know what we've been told by our parents.
Yeah, that's true.
That shapes a lot of our values and our core beliefs. And do you know what I mean? Like, we carry that forever. But it'd be great to see their origin story and the things that they like doing in their spare time and stuff. Because sometimes I think about it, I don't particularly know 100% what my dad enjoyed doing. I only saw what he had kind of shared and provided for brothers and mum and everything at that particular time. But you know, same with my mum as well. Yeah, that's where I would go. You know, without creating time paradoxes or anything like that. Because if I turn up and you're like, oh, by the way, I'm your son later, and they're like, what? And then you just change the whole course of.
Wow, that would be amazing. What about yourself, Nathan?
So I mean, Isaac hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah, going back and seeing what your parents and your grandparents did is as well. Would absolutely, love to jump back in time and see what had gone with the family and see kind of like how things were for them, and then see how certain things that they experienced, kind of like just seeing how the thread moves through and shapes some of your core values and stuff as time goes on. I guess another person I'd love to meet, which a lot of martial artists say, there's two martial arts. Obviously, Bruce Lee is the first one. Would love to, to sit down and chat with that man about his, philosophies and his approaches, and just see like what he was like as a human being as well. When you strip back, all the kind of like, legend that surrounds him. What was he like on a day to day? As a person and as a human being, what was he really like? And the other one is a Lau Kar-leung. He was kind of like a great kind of like director and fight choreographer in the 70s and the 80s. He did a lot of Shaw Brothers movies and things. And he was brilliant because he really wanted to put a lot of authentic like kung fu on screen. He really wanted to keep the authentic styles, whereas as we know, like with a lot of films, they exaggerate a lot of techniques or even just make them up. Whereas he was kind of like quite adamant to really have that authenticity in his kung fu going through his film. So yeah, I'd love to chat to him about his filmmaking. I was so fortunate enough to meet his kind of like his heir to his fighting system, and his kind of like a mentee and disciple, Mark Orton, just last week, the White Tiger. So that was a huge honor to meet him. And it was great because when I met him, he was teaching me how to improve my filmmaking, and the lessons he was teaching me were obviously the lessons that his Sifu taught him. And you just see certain moments, like when he do something, I would see his teacher through him. And I was just like, wow, you literally just see their mannerisms and their personality from what I saw of Lau Kar-leung on the screen. Could see it in Mark Horton in terms of how he was teaching me to do certain things, about how to express like power and stuff on the screen. So I was just like, wow, like it was quite spooky because it was almost like his Sifu was like almost inside of him coming out, which is incredible.
Well, I'm really impressed with the answers here, guys. This has come sort of a great show for new season, new beginning, guys. And both of you, start great introduction for, season 3 for myself and both of you guys included. It's, like I said, it's such an honor to have both of you on. What I'm going to do, I've got like a couple of questions left. I'm not going to use all of that because this has been like really great. So what I'm going to do next time, ladies and gents, just for Nathan and Isaac, while I'm going to mention it now, I will sort of catch up with both of these guys at some point where I'm going to get some videos of both of them doing their moves, busting the moves, and getting some videos on there and putting them onto the podcast as well, so you can see little footage of that, of what they do. Because I'm aware, obviously, both these guys are very busy. They've got their own sort of commitments as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask a couple of extra questions, and then we'll crack on just to wrap things up. So what I'm going to mention to you now on here is if you could talk to your younger selves, what would you say and advice would you give yourself? And that firstly goes to Nathan.
You're greater than you could ever imagine. You know, that's something I'd say to everybody though. We're all greater than we could ever imagine. I would say go for exactly what you want to do in life. Like, pursue your dreams to the fullest. I think a lot of us, we start off, you know, wanting to pursue our dreams as we're young, but then, you know, the rest of the world in life kind of like kicks those dreams out of you a little bit, or tells you they're not that realistic, or, you know, you can't quite achieve what you want to achieve. And so for some people, if they do go for their dreams, they go for like a watered down version of it, rather than actually going all out and going for exactly what they wanted to achieve. And I just say to my younger self, forget everything else, just go for exactly what you want to achieve, because you will achieve it. You know, I mean, I'm living proof of that right now, and I only feel like I've had a life that I'm really thankful for, and I've had an incredible life that I'm really, really thankful for. But in terms of going for exactly 1000% what I wanted to do in terms of what I dreamed of as a child, I started doing that a year and a half ago, and I'm already achieving way beyond what I thought would be possible. And so I'm just like, wow, okay, so it really can be done. So I definitely tell my younger self, just go for it, just go for it from day one, just go for it, and don't look back. Don't matter what anybody else says, because that's not their journey. Just go for that. If you can see something in your mind's eye, you can have that. Work hard at it every day, be consistent, show up for yourself every day, and you'll have it.
That's amazing advice, Nathan. That's great, because, you know, that inspire a lot of others out there. If they're going through some times and they're not sure where to turn, and then they see this would be great. And yourself, Isaac, have you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if I saw my younger version, my younger self, keep going, just keep going. Like, there's a lot of there are strengths in some of the struggles that we'll face, but, you know, I feel like, again, I've come out the other side with a lot of different things, and I look back and I think, damn, man, like, that's like, it's definitely a lot of lessons in itself, sort of thing, you know, not just for myself as well, like, but like, I suppose like for my parents as well. Like, obviously spending time with my mum and dad now, I have like proper like grown up conversations with them as well, and I sit there and I say, look, I didn't get it as a kid. I know I was annoying and stuff, but I get it now, you know. And obviously, there's still lots to learn and understand. But yeah, that's one of the things I tell myself, like, and just embrace the situation there. There was a lot of times where I wouldn't ask for help. I was very quiet. I wouldn't say things because it's like I was like too embarrassed or too shy to, you know, take that leap of faith or go for the thing that I wanted to go for, sort of thing. So it's something that I try to do a lot more, like even now, like more so recently. Like, and I say that to any other young person as well. Like, whether you're, you know, you're in school, and in school, like mainstream school, a bit tricky, and sometimes maybe a lot of the academic side of things is quite hard to grasp and pick up. But still, like, you know, you find something that you know that you love, and just stick at it. You'll do something with it. Honestly, everyone's got tricks up their sleeve. Everyone's got talent. Everyone's got something there. It's just giving yourself a chance to to find that. And you are going to meet people that are going to think, oh, that's silly, or, you know, like, what you doing, you know? So
yeah,
just go do it. And and don't be afraid to ask for help as well. That's what they're there for. Like the teachers, even just like mentors and things that you're interested in. If you're struggling, ask. Even if you feel like the teacher or the person is like scary, just do it. They will be more than happy to share their 2 pence with you in that sense, because you want that knowledge, you know, you want to do better. Even if you're, you know, naughty in class and you can't sit still, hey, find something that will help you channel that energy. All that energy that we have, you might be told, oh, you can't sit still, you're naughty, you're this. Hey, that you can use in anything. You could apply that kind of thing in a positive way to loads of things. I always try to say that with everyone, anyone, even myself, you know. So
all right,
yeah.
guys. Now, ladies and gents, I know these guys are very busy, and I really appreciate the time that they've given me on there. So, if I ever get another opportunity when it comes to not just the breakdancing or martial arts, but any other topics, I know that, no doubt, with Nathan, you know, with his filming background, and also with Isaac with his breakdancing, as well as Nathan, no doubt there'll probably be some up and coming things where I will be mentioning, you know, from other topics, because I know you guys, now we've mentioned other stuff within the questions, sort of raised another question for what light bulb moment. Sorry, I had to squeeze that one in there. I had a thought when it came to some other topics. So no doubt you guys, if you're in, everyone else would be interested in that. Sort of some of the type of questions that we came out with, and the answers. That no doubt there'll probably be some other topics that we'll come up with including involving Nathan and Isaac. Right, I'm going to leave you guys and let you go and deal with what you need to do, because you are busy men. And thank you very much, Nathan Geering and Isaac James. Thank you very much for coming on to the Phil Carew Show podcast. No doubt I've got to go and attend to the kiddies as well. We're going to wrap up with this. All right, folks. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. It was actually live on Facebook on the Phil Carew Show podcast, also on my YouTube channel, and on Insta, the main three social media platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to be able to sort of see what Nathan and Isaac do, feel free to let me know, and then even follow Nathan himself and Isaac with their current activities. Feel free to do that. But right, okay, guys, let's wrap this up, and we'll end the show with Halloween tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Yeah.